What's up? Another video. This for whoever comes on to it. I know I post a lot. It could be overwhelming, whatever. It's what's on my heart. It's what's important. But I made a post and I basically, said that maybe you might not be a Christian, and you need to rethink your reasons for why becoming a Christian. And I sent a screenshot of it to my brother-in-law, and he basically, responded back and was just like, telling me his thoughts about, what I think, or basically about what I meant. And I wanted to share it publicly because, like I told him, long story short, I've been pushed in corners to where I've had to literally depend on God to show up for me himself. And it's not one time, two times, three times. I believe that we all need to have these times constantly to where we need to have encounters with God. We can't depend on grandma, we can't depend on mom, we can't depend on our pastors, which is very disgusting these days and times, to where so many people depend on their pastors and they don't have an encounter for themselves. Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say that I am?" If we don't all have the same revelation, how can our community that we call church be true? We could all be coming together, but just because we're in the same building doesn't mean that we're all united under the same faith. And what I believe is that in local and national churches, the thing about it is that there's a lot of people who claim Christianity. It's not solid. You haven't had an encounter. You don't have a conviction. The way that we engage one another clearly shows us that not everybody has an encounter, and it's okay to go through a crisis of faith, as it would be. It's okay to question why you believe what you believe. It's okay to have doubts about the things that you've been taught in church. It's okay. It's okay. Because the one thing that I know, having been at that place plenty of times in my life, is that God is not going to leave you. You got to test your faith. If you don't test your faith, then if your faith is not worth being tested, you got to question if that's a faith that you even want to have, because it might not even be a real faith. So all in all, what I'm talking about in these days and times especially is that it's important for faith to be tested. It's important. It's important to be in situations and circumstances for your faith to be tested. Take it from me. God is always with you, and he's always on the other side. So I'm advocating for a testing of faith. And what tests your faith, you're not going to like it. You're not. Who likes a test? But at the end of the day, it's worth it to know God deeper and better than you ever known him before. It's a scary place. It's a place where God is calling you to step out of a boat onto a sea, when you know good and well that men don't walk on water, they sink. God is calling us to that uncomfortable place so that we can know him at a greater level, and so that he can show us new and amazing things. That's the God that we serve. The God that let Peter walk out of the boat and onto the water. I just don't think that we're seeing God at the level that we need to see him at, and it's because we don't ask ourselves the questions that we need to ask ourselves. We don't go the places that we need to go. And so we're sitting behind stained glass windows and church doors and everything, and we're pointing the finger and demonizing everybody else instead of just living this bold life that we're supposed to live as Christians. And so at the end of the day, you got to be willing to be questioned, to ask yourself questions, to be honest about the things that you in your heart feel and know. God seeks true worshipers, those that worship him in spirit and in truth. That doesn't mean that you have it all together. It doesn't mean that you don't have questions and that you don't have doubts. It means that you're human. God is okay with your questions. God is okay with your anger. God is okay with your humanity. God is okay with your heart. If you don't give your heart to God fully, there's no way in the world that he can change you. I think that most Christians have not given their heart fully to God. You got to give it to him.